Everybody was kung flu fighting. Those trolls were so frightening. The Democrats' new online troll fighters make 2020 debut in Iowa. It's correct the record all over again. Oh boy. So here on CNN.com, the quote-unquote news organization. So the Democrats now have troll fighters. You probably know what a troll is. I'm sure that trusty old Wikipedia will tell us exactly what a troll is. Here we see on Internet Troll. In internet slang, a troll is a person who starts quarrels or upsets people on the internet to distract and sow discord by posting inflammatory and digressive, extraneous or off-topic messages in an online community, such as a newsgroup, forum, chat room, or blog, with the intent of provoking readers into displaying emotional responses and normalizing tangential discussion, whether for the troll's amusement or personal gain. Okay, so that's what a troll is according to the internet. So apparently the Democrats are now going to fight trolls online. They're going to stop people, most likely conservatives, right-wingers, libertarians, and liberals, from speaking out against them, making memes, making fun of them. When they say we're going to make online troll fighters, first of all, that's cringe. Cringe, bro. You just posted cringe. You're going to lose subscriber. It's, they're trying to fight memes because the left can't meme, Democrats can't meme, and they're mad. They're butt blasted. Des Moines, Iowa, CNN. Days after the 2016 Iowa caucuses, the instructions were clear. Use any opportunity to criticize Hillary and the rest. Except Sanders and Trump, we support them, they read. The guidance has been circulated among a group of Russians who were covertly running a vast network of social media accounts seeking to divide Democrats and push the candidacy of Donald Trump. The instructions were later found during a special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 election. So, for those of you who don't know, Democrats actually push a narrative, and they actually believe that that American election that is mostly run on local ballots that cannot be touched by outside influence was hacked by big bad Russia. You ever notice that? You ever notice how Democrats, or any movie written by a Democrat, or in any movie in general, like a Hollywood, the big bad Russians are the bad guy? Meanwhile, Russia's really not doing much. When's the last time Russia ever did anything like, oh, we're going to attack America, we're going to shoot a nuke? When? Since when exactly? All Russia does is like, well, I want more geopolitical security for my nation and my people, so I want to take the Ukraine, because that would give us access to a trade route, and that would secure Russia. Let's do it, folks. And then America comes, no, you can't do that. You cannot do that. Russia bad. How dare you try to secure your borders? It's not as black and white as everyone thinks. Like, Russia acts in its own interests. It really doesn't bother with America. Yeah, they do have their own campaigns. I'm not saying they don't have propaganda. I'm not saying they don't mess with America. Of course they do. We do the same thing to them. But this whole idea that Russian trolls hack the election is just Trump derangement syndrome. For those of you who don't know, Trump derangement is when Democrats are deranged because they don't like Trump, they don't like right-wingers, so they believe crazy conspiracies, like Russian hackers. They'll tell you it's true, but yeah, it's not. 4 years later, unhappy with Silicon Valley's efforts to curb the manipulation of its platforms, aka censor conservatives, right-wingers, liberals, and libertarians, the Democratic Party has developed capabilities of its own to monitor and tackle online disinformation, to spread democratic and leftist propaganda where no one else can get a word in. It's so funny. I love how they talk like, we're not spreading propaganda, we're not just trying to censor information we don't like. That's exactly what they're trying to do. This is Correct the Record all over again. For those of you who don't know, here on Know Your Meme, Correct the Record became a meme. Basically, it's this. Correct the Record, CTR, is an independent expenditure-only committee, also known as a super PAC. Super PACs are a little loophole that politicians use to get stuff done. So I don't know exactly how it works, but basically, for whatever reason, we have election laws, and a super PAC is a way where a bunch of people can put money into a fund for a politician, to help that politician. And in this case, the super PAC was used to Correct the Record, which would go online, go to social media websites, forums, 4chan, and protect Hillary Clinton from mean things online. Or, like if someone is exposing her corruption or the crimes or anything like that, Correct the Record will come and be like, we better send these little nerd virgins to correct the record and say, no, Hillary's good. She didn't burn those emails. She's a good person. She's not corrupt at all. And of course, this was obvious to most people online, because when you have a shill, someone who's paid to spread disinformation, claiming that they're fighting disinformation, like the anti-propaganda people are actually the ones pushing propaganda. That's CTR. That's the Democrats. And you can see a funny example in here. Here's a good one. Here you can see, Hillary is a gift to the world, a light that shines down on all of humanity. Chinese Cartoons responds, 1 cent has been deposited into your account. Thank you for hashtag correcting the record. So, it's so funny. These shills were on 4chan too. They were on Reddit, shilling for Hillary, saying she did nothing wrong, saying nice things, because that's what they were paid to do. Literally. Here on Mother Jones, David Brock's army of nerd virgins has Hillary's back inside the former Clinton antagonist operation to destroy the anti-Hillary memes he once unleashed. So, the nerd version army, I think there was a leak of an email where it said, or I'm not sure if it was some sort of leak or some sort of report where basically it showed that the people working at Correct the Record were being called nerd virgins by the Democrats because they were basically forced to work at minimum wage, like 18 hours a day, just typing pro-Hillary memes online and making pro-Hillary comments online. They were being insulted by their own bosses. So when they say that the Democrats now have troll fighters, what they really mean is they now have a new army of nerd virgins to do their bidding and correct the record. The first in the nation caucuses here Monday will be the Democrats' first 2020 test of its new team, nerd virgins, on a day when voters have their say. The effort reflects Democrats' growing discontent with Silicon Valley executives like Mark Zuckerberg and highlights concerns that viral disinformation could have an impact on this year's election. The left always projects. Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg recently said that he's going to promote freedom of speech on Facebook, and he's going to let conservatives and Democrats, Republicans and Democrats, left-wingers and right-wingers have their opinion, because he's tired of trying to please Democrats' calls for censorship. It's that simple, and they're mad about it. It's like algorithmic wars. It's kind of crazy. A Democratic National Committee staffer who works on Democrats' new counter-disinformation disinformation team said on Saturday as precautions were underway in Des Moines. The staffer asked not to be identified due to the nature of their work and possibly being subjected to online harassment themselves. Oh, so you don't like it when people get exposed. I don't like it either. But I think there's also a difference between memeing at someone and actually being harassing. Harassment is not okay. But if someone's just making jokes at your expense, that's freedom of speech, okay? That's how it goes. And they call everything harassment. They call criticism harassment, okay. Among the new weapons in the Democrats' online arsenal is a monitoring tool called Trendolizer. When stories from websites known to peddle misinformation, basically anything right-wing, CNN will always be marked as true, mentions candidates and begins getting shares on social media, Trendolizer detects it, and an alert is sent to relevant campaigns. They're literally trying to control information. They're literally trying to be like China and trying to they're literally trying to censor and control and do this 1984 Orwellian bullcrap. This is dystopian. I bet they wish they could do it legally too. Make it law. Another built-in, I love that they're telling us what tools they're using. I wonder if it'd be funny if we could make some sort of counter tool. Another tool built in-house at the DNC monitors Twitter traffic. Yeah, most people aren't on Twitter though, but okay. On Monday, it'll watch for misinformation about how and where to caucus. Variations of the word rigged have been loaded into the system when CNN was shown it Saturday. Attempts to undermine legitimate vote results. Disinformation is something Democrats are watching out for. Didn't the Democrats call the election rigged? It was so funny. Trump said the election was being rigged. The Democrats cheat. They totally do cheat. We all know this. They're cheaters. And then CNN and Democrats are like, oh my God, I can't believe you said it was rigged. The election cannot be rigged. Even Obama said, the election can't be rigged. And then after the election, when they lost, what do they cry about? Hackers and rigging, and they're full of it. Democrats are full of it. I fully despise them. Now, if you're a Democrat and you're watching this, I don't despise you just because you're a Democrat. I really don't. If you're actually watching this, which I doubt, maybe you should think about what the Democrats have been telling you. Maybe they've been lying to you this entire time. Maybe if you knew the true history of Democrats, that they were the South in the Civil War. Yes, they were the South. They were Southerners. Actually, Republicans fought for freedom. Democrats fought for trains. There's more and more to that rabbit hole, trust me. They're also watching for caucus-related tweets that use the exact same text across multiple accounts, a tactic known as astroturfing. Why do I have a feeling that this algorithm is just gonna, people are gonna do a meme, and it's gonna be like, oh my God, people are saying a bunch of memes. Oh, this is astroturfing, which is used as part of an information operation seeking to flood a zone with a specific message. Yeah, they're just mad at memes. So what's going to happen is people are going to have conversations, they're going to be posting memes, and then all of a sudden a bunch of paid Democratic shills are going to come and flood the space and correct the record. The Nerd Virgin Army is coming. A former Facebook employee, overseeing all things technology for the DNC, is Neil Thomas. After working data analytics for Hillary Clinton's 2016 campaign, Thomas has spent more than 2 years at Facebook before joining the DNC last May. Her knowledge of how a company like Facebook works from the inside has helped Democrats hold big tech's feet to the fire. So in December, the DNC released a 2,500-word report assessing how Facebook, Twitter, and Google, which owns YouTube, tackle disinformation. The report criticized Facebook for not promoting content from authoritative news sources. They mean like fake news and the mainstream media. Yeah, authoritative news is bull. Bull! Anybody can be a journalist. Anybody can go to a combat zone, get out a camera, get a microphone, record it, and tell people what's going on. People have gotten famous like that. Anybody can be a journalist. There's no such thing as authoritative news. Bull! You think the media doesn't lie? You think the mainstream media is incapable of getting it wrong? Nonsense. This is a dystopian measure. The fourth estate, or whatever they call it. The mainstream media is nothing but another elite, rich, corrupt establishment. Thomas says that Facebook's internal incentive culture is driven by engagement, which leaves blind spots for Facebook staff. No, bull. They're mad that conservatives are popular online. They're mad that conservatives get engagement, and they want censorship. It's as simple as that. They're cheaters, liars, and sick people. Thomas says, many of her former colleagues from Facebook are good, kind, and thoughtful people, but she fundamentally disagrees with the company's refusal to fact-check ads from politicians. It's going to be really awkward when they do, and then it backfires on Democrats, because it turns out Democrats are constantly lying. Yeah, they're constantly lying. A lot of those fact-checkers are bull. No one checks the fact-checkers. They'll play a word game like... Let's say that Trump exaggerates, and he does this a lot to trick people in 4D chess. Let's say Trump exaggerates and says, well, actually, 10 million birds blow up every year. And then the fact checkers will be like, actually, 9 million birds blow up every year. False. Great victory, except the mainstream media kept saying on the news that only 5 million birds blow up every year. So by Trump exaggerating and going over a bit, he actually gets the mainstream, the fact checkers, to debunk the mainstream media. And okay, birds exploding. It's just a random example. He does that all the time, and it's hilarious because it's one way to get these liars to expose themselves. So here's how they're gonna do propaganda. The company has hired former intelligence officials to root out coordinated misinformation campaigns, and its public disclosures have provided some of the best insight into how foreign countries target Americans with disinformation. It has also partnered with fact-checking organizations that downrank false posts and articles, which reduces their engagement. Their goal is censorship and suppression. That's all this is. And have brought in a slew of new rules aimed at combating election misinformation. So if somebody says there's evidence that Joe Biden is corrupt, which there is a lot of evidence that he's corrupt, they're going to downrank it. They're going to try to suppress it. They're going to work with these fact checkers. Isn't it funny? I brought up a lot of this stuff. I brought up the fact checkers before I even knew it was in this article. Oh, way to prove me right. Way to prove me right. God. Oh. Since 2016, Twitter, Google, and YouTube have also all made efforts to counter manipulation of their platforms with a focus around elections. Censorship. That's all it is. Tech companies now meet a few times a year with government agencies, including the FBI and the DHS, to discuss election integrity efforts. Should the government be deciding what people can say and can't say online? Isn't that a violation of the First Amendment? Well, I'm glad you asked. Actually, it is. It's a violation of our First Amendment right of the right to free speech. It's the very first one. Who could miss it? Engaging with hashtags, even to push back against them, could help promote them further, the DNC warned. The committee instead advised campaigns to encourage surrogates to promote a positive alternative hashtags. Thank you for hashtag correcting the record. Isn't it God, man, leftists, they're always writing these walls of text. Nobody cares. Okay, no one's reading this crap. I'm reading it, but only to laugh at you and to analyze it politically and rationally. Though often used interchangeably, there's a difference between disinformation and misinformation. Misinformation is simply information that is wrong. And who gets to decide what is true? You? You with bias and special interest? Isn't that a conflict of interest? Of course it is. Disinformation is intentional. Yeah. Democrats spread a lot of disinformation and misinformation. But they're going to monitor both so that nobody can spread false information. It's censorship, it's Orwellian, it's mind control. Welcome to 2020. The DNC's counter-disinformation has already had some wins. It has identified coordinated accounts that the social media platforms have removed, as CNN has previously reported. Oh, cool, they got people kicked off Twitter just because they were from another country. Isn't that xenophobic, huh? Aren't you being bigoted towards people from other countries that simply like America and American politics? You are sick, disgusting individuals. You are twisted, sick, diseased individuals, okay? You're mentally unwell. But the DNC staffer CNN spoke to Saturday said that their biggest challenge will likely not come from anonymous bots and blogs. The most powerful person in the country is a disinformation agent, he said, exasperated. Orange man bad. What a joke. So there you have it, folks. We got a whole new online troll fighters, a new army of nerd virgins to hashtag correct the record. 1 cent has been deposited into their accounts, but that's merely the obvious. Well, that's all for now, folks. What do you think about all this? I'm so sick of the Democrats. The Democrats are really good at creating lifelong enemies, and I have a feeling that a lot of Zoomers, Generation Z, and Millennials will wake up. They're going to wake up and see just how insane they are and come to hate them with a passion. The Democrats are creating an entire generation of people who despise them. But that's how it is. Let me know what you think. Now, as always, if you want to support the content that I make, you can join me on Patreon or Subscribestar. All of your support is so appreciated. I'm so thankful for everyone. You can join for as low as $1. It doesn't matter. Any support is good. If you do join, you will get access to Fight Club. It's a private Discord server. If you want to donate, you can do so through Bitcoin. And sharing the video is always appreciated. These days, we're being censored, suppressed by these nerd virgin armies and these troll fighters to stop opinions they don't like. So yeah, as always, thanks for watching. This has been Mr. Obvious, and I'll see you all next time.